Welcome to today's Seidokan Saturday. Now we move to the triples, or the Sanbon kihon of fourth kyu for the green belt. These are really very simple, again, in concept. In a previous life, when I practiced Chinese Kempo, Shaolin Kempo, and Shaolin, everything was about smooth and flow and connectivity. My problem a lot of times with that was that it would become just sloppy flow and there was no power basis, there was no foundational stance. And I've talked about this before. Our Chinese Kempo had partial Kaji Kenbo roots, and Kaji Kenbo talks about put your hip into it. And I actually saw one of the top Kaji Kenbo guys in his horse stance punching a guy in the ground and says, really put your hip into it. Notice my hip. You see my hip doing it? We get the same problem a lot of times in Naihanchi, that we don't get enough koshi hineri, enough twisting of the hip in our strikes. But in Seidokan, as we know, we have a wonderful power structure of a solid, firm stance. Whether I'm doing the more upright or the deeper stances, it's still about taking that shift to really drive the hip, and it gives us a really good power structure. But we often get stuck in that iken hisatsu, that one punch, one kill. Our basic 11 are just primarily single strike or single grab. Ronnie Nick Sensei has done some extensions of those that he calls the advanced 11, and I'm hoping that all of us in the Seidokan world have developed our own version of follow-through on those, because I view those as irimi, or entry techniques, the judo term of irimi, moving in, getting set up, okay? Judo, we have irimi, kazushi, and then execution of the throw. Entered, imbalance with a twist, a lift, torque, whatever, and then execute the throw. In Seidokan, we have single strikes, but they set us up beautifully for follow-through. So I hope we're all doing that. And my goal here in using these triples, these three-prong movements, is to have, as I mentioned with the doubles, to have some sort of continuous flow. With the kicks, having some sort of continuous flow in circularity and mobility, incorporating the power base of our Seisan foundation, because that's our core. So these triples basically go back to, if you go way back to where we did the 8-point blocking system, as I call it, with strikes. Kyoshi Jody Paul used to do the blocks in a different sequence, and he would often do just 1, 2, 3, and then 4 this way, because it flows very nicely. Sadly, not everybody punches in that order, so it's good to mix them up. But I stick with the foundational 8-point blocking system as I was taught it in the Kempo system, but using the power pulling hand, hikite pulls, double blocks of shorin-ryu. So we add the power base. Kempo blocks with pretty much just single arm. We use pulling arms when we do the male-female, the mother-father relationship of Okinawan concept in karate. So, all that said, the 8-point blocking system, we block, number 1, then we have the strike. And if you go back, you can watch those and what the strikes are that are associated with each of the blocks. And again, we had variations on the high block, okay? So those are the basic doubles that we had before. Now we're going to do those doubles, but add a strike follow-up using those. So we do the first one, block, punch, punch. Again, the first block punch, this isn't really a power punch. This is our jab, corollary in boxing. It's coming off the same forward hand, but then we follow with a power punch, okay? So number 1, block with reverse punch or a power punch. When we do that moving is where you'll see the power association here. We do our first block in a setup, then gyakuski. Uchuke, kizami, gyaku. Uchuke, kizami, gyaku. We can do that from cat stance as well. Cat, step gives us a little more power than gyaku. Neko, shiko, zenkutsu. Neko, shiko, zenkutsu. So we're incorporating the 8-point blocking with strikes, from previous rank with a finishing blow, as it were. Okay? Next one is our Sotouke, our outside inward block. On the outside inward block, again, we go from here straight into a hammer fist. Then we're going to wrap the head and elbow strike. Block, hammer, elbow. Block, hammer, elbow. And then again, we do that with the stances, coming from shikolachi to here, and then zenkutsu with the hijiate or embuchi. Okay? 1, 2, and this can be without the head wrap. I prefer to do it trapping. Okay? Block, hammer, same thing, again, using cat stance. Using 3 stances for each. The idea is there is a continuity of movement. Next one is a high block, anyuke, which is either tetsu or riken, and from here, urazuki. Anyuke, riken, urazuki, anyuke. So there's you can feel how the body allows you to strike through with the rotation, okay? A little more continuous motion. And again, same thing with the stances. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And forward, back, cat, so forth. The last one, going back to a point with strikes, is our gedanbarai, starting number 7 block in my counting, right arm. Here, this hits the chin, knots it up, creates an opening, nukite. Gedanbarai, keitouchi, nukite. 1, 2, 3. 3 moves. And same concept here in our movement. Connecting, beginning the flow. Next level would be to follow up with either a kick or a takedown. And so we add on. But again, the concept of continuity, flow, of creating the opening, taking advantage of the opening. I hit the face with the riken, knocks in this way, puts this forward, drives in. If I hit the chest with the riken, same thing, gives me the opening for urazuki. So each block, followed by the setup strike, creates the opening for the finishing blow, per se. If that blow doesn't finish, then we move to takedown, kick, augment, but using the same concept of continuity of movement. That's our Seidokan Saturday for today. 8-point block with strikes to set up, and then a finishing blow. Hopefully that was really quick, but it harkens back to things that we've already covered in other areas. So if you can connect those, work them into your kihon, both standing and moving with our stance adjustments, then you should be set to go. Thanks for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Go to my website. I link these videos there as well. Hit my Facebook page. All of those links are in the description down below. And as usual, as always, until next week, keep practicing.